Hi, I'm Geoff Beran with Geoff Beran and the Mystery Van. We're a rock band. We play original music here in Bloomington Normal and sometimes the surrounding areas, Peoria, Champaign, sometimes up in Chicago. I'm here in the Brooks basement, and we're going to look at some movies. I went around the corner where there is a great VHS collection over there, and we have the Last Seduction. It's a John Dahl movie, and Linda Fiorentino gives such a great performance in this movie. From what I read, she also had a lot to do with coming up with some of the ideas for the film. So she was really hands-on this. And you probably remember her from also like Scorsese's After Hours and some other movies that she made beforehand, but she really shines in this movie. Another John Dahl movie with Nicolas Cage, Red Rock West. And I would really like to borrow this one. And I remember seeing this a long time ago, probably on VHS. And it's amazing that they have a whole Blu-ray of it now. But this is another good, just kind of like modern noir, neo-noir they call it these days. An old standby favorite here, Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop. After making several movies in Holland, he came to America and wasn't even sure he wanted to do this movie, but he did, and we are thankful that he did because it's a lean, mean machine. And it's a satire, and it is very violent, but not only for satirical purposes, but it's a great action movie. And it was a great introduction for Paul Verhoeven into the Hollywood system, I would say. Body Heat, Lawrence Kasdan. This is an earlier example of neo-noir. I like a lot of noir, old and new. But this is one with William Hurt and Kathleen Turner. Great performances and visually stimulating movie. We've been talking a lot about Paul Thomas Anderson with One Battle After Another. And so I've rewatched a whole bunch of Paul Thomas Anderson movies, and this one's still my favorite, Punch Drunk Love. One of his shorter movies, but it's also it's kind of a little bit experimental for him. I feel like he was branching out, trying to do something different with this movie, and Adam Sandler gives a great performance. And this is another romantic movie, but in a slightly different vein, but it takes place in the 70s. A lot of people put this movie down, but I would say it's actually it's definitely one of my top Paul Thomas Anderson movies, but he's not really a filmmaker who's made a bad movie, really, so can't really go wrong with that, I don't think. Okay, The Stuff. This maybe sounds like a cheesy idea. Are you eating it, or is it eating you? The stuff is in the refrigerator, and the whole family is obsessed with eating the stuff, and they don't even want to buy any other groceries. And there's the youngest son in the family, refuses to eat it. Does he have good reason? He says that he's seen it move. But this is a Larry Cohen classic. And Larry Cohen is somebody who always kind of had a satirical edge to him. He did movies like It's Alive and God Told Me To. And this one really kind of lays on the satirical aspect of his writing. He wrote and directed it, and he usually produced his movies and edited sometimes. There's a little comedy section I'm going to step over here. Jim Jarmusch is a filmmaker I just really love. I love his movies. And this is one of my very favorites. It's Bill Murray in Broken Flowers. He goes door to door trying to make up with his past loves by bringing them flowers, and with a mixtape in hand made for him by a friend. And I love Jim Jarmusch. He makes great movies. This is Dick. It's by Andrew Fleming, directed this. And this is a hilarious movie about who was Deep Throat and how did Richard Nixon get found out. This movie offers some funny ideas. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. It's Kirsten Dunst and Michelle Williams doing great work. Okay, this is a weird one. Society, Brian Usna, right? Probably the creepiest movie about a cult that you'll ever see in a conspiracy, where you find kind of what we're going through right now, where the very worst that you could possibly imagine in society is happening in society. And here it is. Society by Brian Usna. It starts out with the kind of creepiness that you're kind of like, did she really just say that? And then it just goes from there to a totally grand guignol ending, and it's really gross and really creepy and funny. It's also funny. The Day Trippers. I love a movie like this, and actually, Paul introduced me to this movie, thankfully. It's not one I don't know if I'd have watched if Paul hadn't recommended it, but I love it. It's got a great ensemble cast. I remember Hope Davis and Campbell Scott, and they've done other movies together. And just seeing Parker Posey is in this movie, and just seeing these actors get together and with great writing and great directing, this is a really good movie, very rewatchable as well. Oh, yeah. Here's another crazy one that reminds me a little bit of Brian De Palma. This is Steven Soderbergh, maybe at his most De Palma-esque. This one kind of reminded me of De Palma's sisters a little bit. It's called Unsane. Claire Foy, is she insane or is she not? Maybe she's unsane. This is a great, great Soderbergh thriller, and he's been making some really good ones lately. And it's shot on iPhones, I believe. So, that was a little bit unique too at the time. Miranda July. She's made 3 films, if I'm remembering correctly. This is the first one, Me and You and Everyone We Know. She wrote and directed it. She stars in it. I love her other movies too. The one after this is called The Future, and I especially love Kajillionaire, which she doesn't star in that one, but she wrote and directed it. And she is a really unique filmmaker. You might use the word quirky when thinking of her, but also very funny, also very sincere, and sometimes a little bit out there in a really interesting way. So she makes really intriguing films, and this is where it all began, film-wise, for her, I think. Good one. Thanks for having me, and this was fun. I've seen a lot here that I can't wait to check out, and thankfully Paul is going to let me borrow a couple of movies here. So thank you for visiting with me.